Welcome to the Space Race Rules video. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're wondering how to play the Space Race, or you're at least reviewing the rules. So, if you don't like watching videos, beneath this video, there will be a link to a printable, readable copy of the rules that you can go through if videos aren't your sort of thing. But if they are, I will kind of go over the rules through this video and teach you guys how to play. So the basic idea behind the space-based race involves building a sort of base by laying cards in a grid, different types of cards. So there's 5 types of cards, and they each do a different thing. I'm going to go over what they do in a moment. The primary goal is to defend your processor, which is the first type of card. You have one processor per base. Your processor is like the king in chess. You need to protect it at all costs while trying to eliminate everyone else's processor. I will explain how to do that in a moment. So your processor is always your primary thing to protect. It gives you 1 power per turn. I will explain power in a moment here. So that's base card type number 1. The next card type is the turret, which is the card you're going to use to attack other players' bases. So the turret, as it says here, can fire once per turn per turret. So if you have 2 turrets, you can fire up to 2 times per turn. What happens when you fire at another card, say you're shooting at a red base, as you're going to fire this turret, you just choose a card on their base. So if they have like this, you can say, oh, I'm going to shoot this repair bot. And you flip it over, and their repair bot is now offline. So that's the first type, is the turret. The second type is the ray shield, which the ray shield pretty much protects certain things from being shot by the turret. So the ray shield must be shot before adjacent buildings. So if, say, you are red and you're shooting, you cannot shoot this turret until the ray shield is offline. So the ray shield protects the cards in the 4 adjacent slots. So here, 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 and here. That you cannot shoot any of these until this ray shield has been shot and is now offline, and now you can shoot any one of these. So it protects all of those, and must be shot for any adjacent buildings. The next type of card is the repair bot. So the repair bot, kind of what it sounds, is per turn. You spend power to do this, like you're going to do with most things. If, say, my turret was offline or my ray shield was offline, on my turn, I can repair 1 thing per turn per repair bot. So since I have 1 repair bot, I can only repair 1 of these. I can choose to repair this, and that means I flip it back over. So it's now online again and is fully functioning. So you can repair things that got shot by the turrets. And then finally, I'm going to get into power, which I haven't talked about up until now. For example, here's the solar panel is your primary source of power. The solar panel gives you +1 power per exposed side per turn. So if it was here, there's 3 exposed sides, which means it gives you 3 power per turn. The processor would give you 1 power per turn, so this base layout here would give you 4 power per turn. Now, you're going to need power to do just about anything in this game. There are different playstyle cards that you choose at the beginning of the game. So, for example, balanced. It costs 4 power to build a unit. You can build any one of the 5 types and put them anywhere on your base. So for 4 power, I could say build another shield here. You can fire your turret for 2 power. So power actually looks good. In the final game, it's going to be these really cool power crystals, but for now I just have these little glass things. So you would spend 2 power to fire your turret. You can only fire as many times as you have a turret, though, even if you want to spend more power. So I can only fire once because I have 1 turret. But if I built another turret, I could then fire twice per turn, so up to 2 times. Don't have to fire both times, but I could if if I have the power to do so. And then finally, we got the repair, which, as it sounds, expects 3 power to flip an offline card back online. And then finally, you've got your do something card, which is a deck that's going to be set in the middle, sort of like action cards. So for 4 of them, you get to draw a card to use on your next turn, or you can save it. So for example, I drew this space junk card. So the next turn, I will save it, put it here. And then on my next turn, I could play this right before the start of my turn, build a unit, and then continue with my turn. Now, there are different playstyle cards that you can play. There's some that are faster, some that are more strategic, some that just change the prices of things. So that is a very dynamic aspect to this game. So those are the functions of the five card types. So at the start of the game, the do something cards are going to be shuffled and placed in the center of the table. Then next to them, you're going to place a pile of power, whatever you're using for power tokens, either whatever you have if you use the print and play copy, or the power crystals that will come if you order a printed copy. So then each player is going to take a colored deck. So there are 4 colors. There's the yellow, there's green, there's blue, and there is red. And so each player is going to take one of those colored decks and put them in front of them. And then you choose a playstyle card, which I mentioned before, which is the price of things, which is also going to go in the center, and a starting hand. You're going to choose a starting hand, which in this case would be the all round, which means you get one of each of these to start. So each player is going to take the cards designated by the starting hand, which is 1 of everything. So, and a repair bot. So each player is going to take, and then put the other ones to the side for the time being. And then they can lay them out in any order they want. This is a good starting loadout for this starting hand, like so. Oh, one thing I didn't mention yet, the processor. In order to shoot it, all cards on each of the sides have to be offline. So if you had your processor here, these 2 cards would have to be offline before you can shoot the processor. All the cards in the 4 spots immediately next to it have to be offline or non-existent. So in this case, I would have to shoot at least 4 times, shoot the ratio to be able to shoot these 2, and shoot this one, and then green is out of the game. And so after every player has their cards laid out in the order they wish them to be, then you choose somebody to go first. I recommend either the least experienced or the youngest player to go first, because that's just polite. And then they will start their turn by collecting their power. So this base gives you 4 power per turn, which I can then spend in any way I wish. So I could fire at one of the other player's bases for 2 power, or I could draw a do something card to use the next turn, or I could build another card of my choice anywhere on my base. And then after I have done all the actions I wish, I don't have to spend all my power if I don't want. If I keep some. And then it goes to the next person, to the left. Play goes to the left, and they will take their turn. Now, a couple of things to remember are that things you built or repaired on that turn, say the start of my turn, this was offline, and I spent 3 power to repair my repair bot, I cannot use this turret until the next turn. Same goes if I built another turret. I would have to wait till the next turn to use it. Which means if all your repair bots are offline, you cannot repair any buildings unless you build a repair and wait till your next turn to start repairing. Or some of these do something cards will repair units for free without having to have a repair bot, which you could do as well. Now, all of your do something cards are actually played right before you start your turn. So right before I start my turn, I play any do something cards I want to play. And then do whatever action it says, which would be build one building for free. So I could build that for free, and then my turn starts, which means I actually get the power from this solar panel because it's played right before your turn starts, which gives these a large advantage over just regular building them, which is so keep that in mind. But otherwise, you don't use them the same turn. Let's see. Oh, it's there to remember. Oh, you have to build buildings next to existing buildings. So I couldn't put a solar panel up here. So no diagonals. It could only be immediately next to one of my existing buildings. Some of these do something cards involve building it putting it on your base like a normal building. Let's see if I can find one. Like the mining drill is the primary example of this. The mining drill, you build like a normal unit anywhere on your base, just like a normal building, except that when it is shot, instead of flipping over like it's offline, you just put it in the discard pile. And there are several other ones in here that do that as well. I think that is just about it. Victory is achieved when you have successfully eliminated all the other players' processors. So the other processors are offline, and you're the only player with a base still standing. And I honestly don't know how confusing that was. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. If you find that really confusing, then, as I said before, there's a link to some readable instructions down below. And thank you for watching.